Years ago when I had my cafe, I had sloppy joe on the menu for the whole time I ran it. And there was one gentleman in particular that, like clockwork, came in every Sunday for a sloppy joe. And he said it was the best cure if you had one too many the night before. It's really simple to throw together, it tastes delicious. And how I used to serve it was on a piece of toasted sourdough with some baby fresh spinach to cut the richness, some cheddar cheese, hot sloppy joe and a couple of fried eggs. It's the season for these types of breakfasts. And this is actually the last video I'll be making in this kitchen. I'll show you why. We've had all these flat packs in here for 3 months and we're going to be installing an IKEA kitchen over Christmas. So for our 2 weeks over Christmas we've got off, this is what we'll be doing. Place a large heavy pot on the stove and warm up just enough oil to cover the base. I used olive oil. Once it's warm, add 2 roughly chopped onions, reduce the heat to low and saute for about 10 minutes or until the onions are completely soft and translucent. This recipe is super easy, but taking your time with a slow cook really brings out a much more flavourful sloppy joe. Then add 500 grams of beef mince and 500 grams of pork mince, or if you prefer you can just use all beef mince. Cook it slowly, breaking it up as it cooks until there's no pink left. Stir in 2 tablespoons of tomato paste and let it cook for a couple of minutes. I find tomato paste can have an unusual metallic taste if not cooked out first. Then it's time for the sauces. 2/3 a cup of barbecue sauce, ordinary or smoky. I like smoky if I have it. 1/2 a cup of tomato sauce, also known as ketchup. 1/4 cup of Worcestershire sauce. And finally, 1/4 cup of soy sauce. Add some pepper, and as you can see, I like pepper, but you can add as much or as little as you like. Stir everything well, bring it to a boil, and then simmer on a low heat for about 20 to 30 minutes, stirring occasionally. This lets all the flavours meld together and the meat breaks down beautifully. I like my sloppy joes nice and sloppy, so I usually add about 1/3 a cup of boiling water at the end and cooking it for just a couple more minutes. If your meat was particularly fatty, you might notice an oil slick on top. Just skim that off with a ladle. The meat I used today was pretty lean, so I didn't have to worry about it. And now here's how I think this dish is best served. Slice up some good quality bread, toast and butter, then add a layer of fresh spinach, which is optional, but I think it cuts the richness a little. Next, cheddar cheese, then a generous helping of hot sloppy joe, and top it off with 1 or 2 fried eggs and a tiny pinch of salt. I remember a customer from the States visiting a restaurant where I was working, and he said this was the best sloppy joe he'd ever had, and he'd had quite a few. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you give this a try, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.